who we have standing in front of us, I don't think, does he need an introduction? So we've got the mayor, Duggan. We have Dave Giordot, who's the bank president for Fifth Third Bank. Can you guys hear me out of this? Okay, so I just got to get loud, right? And then we also have Kim Tandy, who is the direct chairperson for Northwest Community Programs, and she's also over the neighborhood district manager, District 2 manager. And then Auburn Williams, where's Auburn at? Right here. Auburn made it happen. So whenever you have a construction project, you actually have to have a really good partner that actually does the construction, finishes on time and on budget. And so Ecclesiastic Building is actually who did that, and that's Auburn Williams. Great job. So, and we're really excited. And Dave asked me, so I'm just gonna steal some of the thunder. He said, "Are we done?" And I said, "Actually, I just talked to Auburn about phase 2, which will be the auditorium and bathrooms." And so I don't know if Dave gave me approval yet or not.
Glad you're here.
And that really is about the commitment we made initially when we started with this Northwest project. As I told Ron, this is a partnership. We're not a leasee, we're not a tenant, we're partners. And partners work together every year around what does the organization need to do, what is our responsibility, and how do we collectively support this community? Because it's a community center. It's not a Fifth Third Center. We have a space in this building, but it is about this center being responsive to the community and being available to the community. And so I actually have the responsibility or the honor to be the MC. And as I looked at this run of show, I thought, oh, okay, it'll work. And then I realized who's not talking, who is not being seen, who's not saying a word, is Ron Lockett. And I'm like, that's not a good idea, right? So since he gave me the responsibility of being an MC, I can actually change some stuff. So Ron, you gotta come up at least and get some acknowledgement.
All right.
And I'm going to be very, very brief. I really don't need a mic. The most important person really has been Bina Elliott. I mean, she came here looking for rental space, and you know, we were suffering, and I wanted to give her a whole wing. Didn't realize, based on technology, you didn't need as much space anymore, even for banking. So she found a space she wanted, but then the more she looked around, she just didn't want Fifth Third Bank's office to look sleek. She wanted the building to improve, and she never stopped. And I wonder when would Dave look like, where's the bank account at? So, I mean, we're just so thankful because when this transition occurred from the Jewish Community Center to Northwest Community Programs in 1975, it was supposed to be a corporate sponsor. We finally got that corporate sponsor in Fifth Third Bank, and everything has changed, not only in this building, but in this whole community. And we're just so thankful.
So he didn't do that right? So he was supposed to take the credit. Thank you. So Ron didn't do that right because he was actually supposed to take the credit. When we started working together, I've never seen somebody so tirelessly. I've never seen somebody come in here 7 days a week. And even when they were struggling, you couldn't tell. When you walked into the building, there was a sense of family and energy. And that has not changed. While the building looks a lot better, the energy and this is the heart of the community, belongs to him. And so give him really the accolades. Absolutely. So I don't even know if I introduced myself, but I'm Bina Elliott, and I'm actually the Chief Corporate Community and Economic Development Officer for Fifth Third Bank. And I'm actually a board member of Northwest itself and their board treasurer. And I'll talk a little bit about how we got here. So in about May of 2012, we were looking for a banking center. We'd been searching for about 3 months. And we were looking for sites. And I had an idea. And so when I came to Northwest, I didn't come like I normally do for an event. And I didn't schedule an appointment with Ron. I just wanted to check out if we can actually do something different. I had been noodling on this idea of what an urban branch should look like. And it didn't need to look like our current parameters. And our current parameters, when we think about building a bank branch, is we want it on a hard corner. We want it on an outlot in a big retail center. We wanted on an end cap with a big drive-through. And I said, that doesn't really feel like to me what we need to do now. If you think about how consumers want to bank, and they were starting to really use all the digital technology around mobile banking or online banking, and we were seeing the traffic decline in our branches. But more importantly, it was right at the end of the economic decline, and we were starting to improve. And what was the sentiment around how you felt about institutions, and even, let's be really honest, about your banker? And there was a lot of distrust. And so I thought that we, as an urban branch, if we built one, it ought to be in the community and part of the community, and not separate as a hard corner. And so I thought I could do this. And I didn't have permission yet, but I thought if I could just convince Dave that I had a good idea, that he would support it. And as soon as I walked through the building, I was looking for two things. One, the activity and the life, so that I could actually say it matches up to our branch traditional footprint and traffic, so that it has enough people that it looks like it could actually support a branch. And the building was bustling. And so I got back to my car and I called Dave immediately. I said, hear me out, I got a good idea. And because Dave and I worked together now 18 years, but at that time it was about 15 years, he actually responded and listened. And I would say that was in May. By June, the whole leadership team and our facility team was actually on board and got excited. They got excited about what we could do, and they also got excited about, hey, it's not about just building a branch, it's about investing in our community. And so I am so excited about the progress we've made. And we've had I started counting, and we've had 5 ribbon cuttings in this center since we invested in 2012. We started with the branch. Then we did the upgrade to the facility itself and unveiled it. Then we did the locker rooms and the space downstairs, the gymnasium. Then we did the Operation Hope Center. So we've had a lot of big opportunities to really celebrate the activity in Northwest. And we've had some great partners along the way, whether it's Comerica, MGM, DTE, and we'll talk about the newest partner. But everybody really saw what was going on in Northwest, and everybody decided to support it. And that's how we got here. It's a collective engagement with the community and the civic leaders who said, if this is a hardened community, this is where we need to be at. And so I think that's really important. And I'm going to actually turn the mic over to Dave to talk about what we've actually done in terms of investments.
Thanks, Bina. You know, some of this will be a little redundant, as Bina loves to steal my thunder, but it's really her show. I'm just an invited guest to her party. Before I start, though, I do want to recognize a couple of people. We have a couple of our local directors that were able to come down. Shirley Stancano, that runs New Detroit, visiting. Hanan Liss. Hanan remembered this property back in the Jewish community days, so thank you for coming out this afternoon. Of course, it's great to see my friend, the mayor. I tell you, every time we were together, it's usually at a podium somewhere, but for all the right reasons. But this vision, it really was. Bina Elliott did a tremendous job. And as she stated, the things we've done here, really it started with a micro branch, something new within the Fifth Third footprint, and a pride point for us, a cashless facility with a full state-of-the-art ATM that over 300,000 people have access to that come and go from this facility. Then the gymnasium, you know, a pride point. I got to stand next to Dave Bang and see him shoot a layup on a floor that he grew up on, that now gets utilized by the Wayne County Community College. You know, the locker rooms have been improved, the workout room. We're about to see the new ballroom. I thought we were done. But as anything that we all have, and no, you have to continue to reinvest. You buy a home, you take care of it. This is a home for Fifth Third. It's a home for all of you in the community, and our job is to continuously reinvest. I would tell you my biggest pride points as a leader are my employee base and their dedication, commitment, and then key community assets. And in Detroit, there's 2 that are my biggest pride point. Downtown Detroit, 1 Woodward, our corporate headquarters, and this one here. I can tell you of the 93 locations we have, I've been to this one outside 1 Woodward every day. I've been to this one more. And every time I come here, it's been for the right purpose, is to see and engage with them. With that, thank you, everybody, and we will continue to support this facility.
So next, I'll turn it over to our mayor, Mayor Duggan, to actually talk about why partnerships matter.
All right.
Well, I want to thank Dave and Bina. This is what, for so many years, Detroit was lacking. It seemed like anything that was for children always got cut in this city. The grass wasn't cut in the parks, the playground equipment wasn't maintained, rec centers were closed, the ones that were open weren't invested in. And we've been changing that direction. And when you have a partner like Fifth Third, it's a whole lot easier to change it even faster. So today, we're going to cut the ribbon on the Ballroom, which is the center of a lot of family celebrations in this community. It's kind of the first-class facility that families in this area can be proud to use. And then the Northwest Activity Center is going to be more and more a part of Detroit's recovery. So I don't know if you know what's going to happen here on Sunday, but it's the next big step where we integrate the Northwest Activity Center, I hope, to the revival of the schools in this area. So if you haven't heard this, we have got a partnership we're calling the Goal Line, where we've lined up 6 DPS schools and 4 charter schools in this area of Detroit. And we're saying to parents, if you live anywhere in this 9 square mile area, you get your child to the closest school, the bus will take them there to any one of 10 schools. So because you live in Northwest Detroit, you have a choice of 10 K-8 schools. You can pick the one that's right for your child, even if you don't have a car. And so people who are busing their kids 45 minutes to River Rouge for schools whose standardized test scores are lower than a number of the schools here, they're going to have that choice. And when I talked to Dr. Vitti about it, it's pretty unusual to get DPS and the charters to work together. Dr. Vitti said one of the biggest problems we have, the reason why we're losing so many kids to suburban schools, is they have after-school programs. A parent gets off work at 5, child gets out of school at 3. Who wants to have their child for 2 hours unsupervised? And so he said if you ran a first-class after-school program on the bus loop, that would be great. And so we got together with Ron, and we are going to be running this fall after-school programs for 200 K-8 students in the Detroit schools right here. And so we're going to be, we had so much space here that wasn't used for recreation, we had city offices in. We're steadily moving the city offices out and putting things back for these children. But you think about what this means. It's going to be your child will get on their bus. They might go up to their local, their closest school, Coleman Young School, but they might want to go to a school that's 4 miles away, that's good at math, that's got theater, whatever the case may be. They'll get on the bus at their local school, they'll ride it to the school where they're attending, and they'll swipe their card as they get on and off the bus. And you as a parent will get a text message. Your child arrived at school. When school gets out at 3 o'clock, they get on the bus, you'll get a message. Your child's on the bus. If your child's going to after-school program at the Northwest Activity Center, they'll get a message. Your child is at the Northwest Activity Center. If at 5 o'clock it's time to get on the bus home, you'll get another message. Your child is now on their way to the original school. We're going to integrate this into the success, and right now, in a 9 square mile area, basically from Fenkell to 8 in Southfield, Illinois, 6,000 children this year went to school in the suburbs. Think about that, 6,000 children. If we can bring 500 of those kids back into our own schools, we strengthen them financially. But this is the way we should be working. We should be supporting the schools and the neighborhoods, and the Northwest Activity Center is such a tremendous asset. And I'm so pleased with the job that Ron and the team have done here. And with Bina as our guardian angel, I'm sure we're going to see Fifth Third have a greater and greater presence. But today, thank you very much for what you've done.
So good afternoon. I'm really, really excited. So I'm a born and raised Detroiter. I grew up in this neighborhood, and this center as a child was very important to me. And as I grew up, some things happened. Things happened in the community, and the neighborhood was struggling. And outside of the time that I was gone away to school, I always was up here. This has been a really important part of my family and the families of many people in this center. And as things were struggling, you know, it was upsetting to see things that are up here. But with the leadership of Ron Lockett and some partners that have come into this building and some of the things that have happened around it, we have now become that vibrant center again here. And I just want to say that with the partnership of Fifth Third Bank and some of the investments that are put in here, and it's not just about the physical financial investments that you'll see in the facility, but it's also about Bina being here, being able for children and young people to actually see her, to see bankers, to interact with bankers, the financial programs that are part of the community. So this investment in the partnership that we have with Fifth Third Bank here at Northwest Activity Center is bigger than just brick and mortar. It's about our children, our community having access, exposure, and a wonderful experience while they're here at this building. And I'm just excited. I want to say thank you to Fifth Third Bank. And I think that all of us, once we walk into, if you've seen the ballroom in the past, it's gone through some progress, but now we've hit it, we're there, and that process, because of how much investment is in there, brings that much investment back into the Northwest Activity Center. So as the board chair and as the District 2 manager for this area, I'm really excited about the things that are happening here. I'm not going to hold this up anymore. I really would like the person that actually took the investment and made it happen here, and so that we can actually cut the ribbon and go in and enjoy the ballroom. So thank you all for being here today.
Thank you so much, Kim. As my father taught me, I see my good friend Charlie Beckham here, been known for 30 years. Always be brief, be bright, be gone, right, Charlie? So, Mayor, so good to see you. I got your memo this morning. Ryan thought I didn't have a time for a reason, but it's your memo. But it's been such a pleasure to do this project. Ron has been just a dream to work with, a great client to have. But I want to give credit to my team, Ray Shaw, executive architect in our office, and Daniel Davis, our design engineer. I just come in and tell them what I don't like. But what we always want to do, any project we undertake, is design and build something that we be proud of, that we want to have an event in. So we think we accomplished that today, but with Ron's leadership, we're so happy to be here right now and present something that you all can be proud of. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So real quickly before we go to the ballroom and unveil it, we've got a number of our Fifth Third partners that Dave talked about that actually come to this center, volunteer, and work in this center and engage with our community. So if you're with Fifth Third Bank, like whether it's Joanne or Don or Tanya, I need you guys to stand up so everybody knows who you guys are. And yeah, our most important person is Warren Morgan, who is here all the time. I didn't see any of you guys stand up. Thank you. So I will not now, we will go into the ballroom and unveil it. And so we'll look for the oohs and ahs because it's amazing. All right.